how do you think COVID-19 will overall affect the plant-based food sector?
Well, I can say that so far it has really been a boost. I think it's helped more people draw the connection between animal agriculture and human health. Although I am concerned, I know when it first started happening in March and April, there was more of the connection I felt than now. I think that the origins of it's been going on so long that some of the origins have been a little bit lost in some of the details, but
well, people's attention spans are only so long, right? So
true. And in the news cycle, there's so many aspects to it, and it's been such a tragedy. Although I think Canada once again shines through and have done a much better job than we've done down here. But I think that when the dust settles and people take a step back after it goes away and really look at, like, how can we prevent this kind of thing? We don't want to go here again, and look at all of the lives we've lost, look at all the damage to the economy, all the restaurants and small businesses that have gone out of business. I mean, this is a huge thing. And I think that when you look at the possibilities of more diseases coming out of these factory farms and these animals, that it's going to have an impact. It isn't going to change the world overnight, but the market is, it's one of those kind of like perfect storms for the meat industry to deal with, like the rising of good flavored and textured plant-based proteins, coupled with the environmental aspects, coupled with the health aspects. Yeah. It makes sense from too many reasons to not really go into the next level of acceptance.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, I just hope people do start connecting the dots between pandemics and the animals on our plates, and that it is like a teachable moment or a tipping point or whatever, a wake-up call, and stop hitting the snooze button and all these other trite things you can say.
Absolutely. I mean, a lot of people don't realize that the vast majority of the diseases that are spread have direct correlation to animal use. And if we were able to remove animal use from our conversation even, we would significantly reduce the opportunity for those vectors to pass over into human use.
Yeah, but cynically, I would point out that vegan activists have been begging people for years to connect the dots and pointing out all of these reasons to become vegan and plant-based. But what's driving this growth for the most part now, I think, and is going to continue it into the future, is just the taste and texture of products, because eating is one of the joys of life, and people are really attached to fun and joy and really enjoying their food, and the more the flavor and textures of foods progress is really what's going to drive things even more than all of these great reasons, because right now we're still at something like 200 pounds of the meat consumption, for the average American is around 200 pounds a year, which is very high. And considering that we didn't eat any, somebody out there is eating 400 pounds, right?
You've had some really great success living your own truth and not worrying about fitting in. Do you feel that always following trends, the rest of the human herd, is a stressful and counterproductive to happiness of humans?
For me, like, and I speak to this in the book, but I really was not your classic business person, or that was really meant to be it. It wasn't like my third eye opened up and I was like, oh, business, I know how to do this. I was like incredibly stupid. And I have, the first job posting that I ever did at my local co-op. I mean, it's just funny to read right now, because it's just like, there's no money in this, but we can change the world, and I'll pay you $3 an hour when I have it, but I really don't think I'm going to have it that much, but it's still fun. Come work. And nobody applied. So I think, though, there's a value to, there's roadblocks, but there's also a value to knowing nothing about business and starting out from a place of, like trying to figure it all out on your own. And Misfits, who better than Misfits to come up with really innovative products and, that see things in the world that aren't there. And I think that it's a real advantage to be stupid at some point.
I agree with you on Misfits, though, because I've always marched to the beat of my own drum, and I've never worried about what people thought. I just go along and do my thing, and whatever. Now, while your company embraces competition, animal agriculture isn't quite as welcoming. You actually have a bit of a David and Goliath fight happening against those lobbying for laws that ban Tofurky and other vegan companies who are using words like veggie burger, as they push their own narrative that this causes confusion for consumers and that they want to protect them from deceit. Now, they're obviously being disingenuous and full of phony baloney, and that really people should hold tight to their peanut butter because it could be next. Can you just tell us a little bit about that?
It's a great sign that we're getting the attention of the meat industry, first of all. And second of all, there's two basic responses from the meat industry right now. The first one is, like you've been explaining, the people that want to we got to crush this rebellion, we've got to go in there and make it hard for them and illegal for them to sell their products in the state. And, they're throwing their weight around and trying to get their legislators to do these unconstitutional, like many of these laws have been thrown out in court as being, not legal, especially in Arkansas is one of the big victories we've had. And we've sued 2 of the 14 states right now, Missouri and Arkansas, that have enacted these laws. But the second thing that I've seen some companies do is they've taken a step back and they've gone, you know what? We're in the protein business. There's a demand for this and the consumers. Let's get involved in it. Mm-hmm. And of those 2 philosophies, the second one, I think, are going to be the people that are positioning themselves now and transitioning. Those are the people that are going to win. The people that are just trying to crush an idea whose time has come, they're going to be the ones left behind.
Yeah, because we're just propping up a dying industry by, but going along with the first category. But the second ones, they're the progressive thinkers who are, advancing into the future. Mm-hmm. So,
on that note, both in the United States and Canada, like billions of government dollars are going towards subsidizing animal agriculture. And we're starting to see some movement in Canada with plant-based proteins getting a little bit of love. But what's your idea on how government should be doing things regarding subsidies and plant-based protein?
Yeah, I think that as the plant-based segment grows larger, there'll be more lobbyists and dollars to make the point. We already have the Plant-Based Foods Association in the US, which is great because it allowed, I think there's over 150 companies now that have bound together because we've all realized that we have common interests. Like when one company talks to a big government agency, it's one thing, but when 150 band together, it really gets more attention. So I think there'll be more subsidies. Like subsidies are a lot of different, that's a big word for a lot of different things. One of the big subsidies, though, that has been happening has been in dollars given to, for instance, the dairy industry, the Got Milk campaign. Do you have that up there in Canada?
Oh, yeah.
Sadly, yes.
It's just like that's a government program right there. So we need marketing support for the plant-based industry, and right now we're not getting it because of the strength of the meat and dairy industries. But I think marketing support is what I would most say needs to happen that way, because a lot of our manufacturing and just the economics and efficiencies of the plant-based diets already take out some of the environmental things, like that, when we don't have like, it's not benign, but you look at the subsidies for cleaning up spills of manure into rivers and stuff like that. We're not doing that on anywhere the level. So I think it's mostly marketing.
Yeah. So looking on your website, I saw products I've never seen here in Canada. What are we going to do about this?
Yeah, it's hard. We only give you the best stuff, I'll tell you that. Because the sheer economics of it are that we need to produce separate packaging for Canada, so we don't want to print up, you got to print up hundreds of thousands of cartons to get something. So we don't want to give you any slow sellers. We only want to give you our fast.
Don't we? In things like
oh yeah,
stuff like that. Yeah.
That's crazy. I don't understand why you have yous in flavor and favorite and the texting now. Don't you understand the human language is getting smaller, not larger?
Well, I'm very anal about news and things like that. So I actually, and when people up here in Canada, they say Z, I'm like, what do you mean Z? That's Z.
That's time you don't get back, though, typing all of those extra U's and words. What does that add up to in a person's life?
You think that the extra vowels in Canadian English is bad. Have you seen how it takes 2 to 3 times the verbiage to say something in French?
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Yeah. Hey, I love the French language, and when French is sung, oh my God.
Absolutely.
It's such a beautiful language.
So we like to ask the very hard-hitting questions here on Calling All Vegans. And I don't know if you're aware, but by being vegan, you've increased your likelihood of being stuck on a deserted island by yourself with a companion animal pig has increased by 800 to 900%. If you wound up on a deserted island and you are only able to have one vegan meal, we can somehow airlift it to you every day, we can't get you off the island, what would that meal be?
But let me say something. If you want, you can veganize a white bread, butter, and brown sugar sandwich if you like, because those too, and I know you did.
You took, yeah, you got me there.
Yeah.
Wow, one meal. You know what I'd probably go for? I'd go for a grilled tempeh burger with a salad. Because nice. I have to tell you, that's the other thing I've been eating a lot of right now is we make these tempeh burgers called super burgers. And here's the thing, like all these plant-based burgers that are knocking off meat, including ours, they just don't feel the same as a tempeh burger, which is very light and powerful, and they aren't all, crammed with the fat that is really giving you that flavor, and they're still delicious. They're not a bleeding burger. They don't bleed at all, but they are so tasty. And after you eat a tempeh burger, you just feel great. And I've seen tempeh over the years do some amazing things to people that were really struggling with their health. I had a friend who was married to one of my first partners, and she's in her 80s now, and she had gone into a care facility, and she was eating this crummy food that they were selling, and I brought her some tempeh, and we had curry tempeh delivered to her. And as soon as she got that, she just perked up, and her health improved, and she got out of the facility. And that's just one of the many stories on tempeh. So it would have to be the tempeh burger, and I don't know, maybe can I have fries with that?
Yeah,
Yes, you
absolutely.
can.
And throw in a beer if you like.
Okay, well, I'd have salad, and I'd have some fries, just for
That
a little
sounds
bit
like
of fun.
the original vegetarian diet. I lived for a long time on fries, green salads, and beer. Anytime you went to a restaurant.
Oh, yeah, I meant to throw in the beer, please.
Yeah, well,
A
Definitely.
good IPA.
you're welcome.
I'm known for the very bad puns, so I get to say that a tempeh burger might be a great temptation.
Temptation.
I have a few rapid fire questions for you, okay?
Let's have them.
You ready? Tempeh or tofu?
Tempeh.
Which would you prefer to do? Hull a pile of soaked soybeans by hand or do 100 push-ups?
Soybeans.
Treehouse or penthouse?
Treehouse. All the way. Do I even have to answer that?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Your hippie roots are showing, huh? So Richard or Seth?
Seth.
Should it be called the protein section or the meat section?
Protein.
The farm or the firm?
These are pretty easy. Totally the farm.
Your fave Tofurky product?
Oh, see, now you're getting hard there to pick my favorite child. I'll go with the roast.
Okay, you see, yeah, I didn't mean to, it's like, yeah, choosing between your children and you
Sophie's choice.
One is a favorite, right? But if they all get together, then you're in trouble, right? And are you in favor of placing warnings on meat, eggs, and dairy similar to what's on cigarette packages? Yes or no?
Yeah.
My lifelong wish has been for people to stop hurting animals. I'm 54 and I intend to live to 100. So now that we've gotten over the taste, texture, price, and convenience hurdles, is it feasible we'll see the world shifting from its heavy reliance on meat, eggs, and dairy from animal sources to instead mostly, or wish upon a star, wholly from plant sources?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I think that in the next 50 to 100 years, I think we'll cross over to plant-based foods having 50% or more of the market. I don't think that it's going to be like, I see these predictions of like by 2035, all meat will be gone, and I think that's rosy. It's a long, hard battle, but I do think that we will, once we hit 50% of the market, that's where everything changes, and the subsidies start falling to us, and it gathers steam very rapidly. So I think that given that a change that I've seen in the last 40 years, I think it's fair to say 50 to 100 years we'll see massive change.
Really smelling the money, right? Then they'll just
walk
in lockstep and shut up and take your money.
There seems to be a love for money. I don't understand it quite, but there seems to be this love for money out there.
I just like the good it could do in the world. I personally don't have a nice little pile myself, but whatever.
No, you're right. The good that it can do is the only reason really to search for money.
You've done so much for the plant-based food market and for veganism in general. If you were able to choose, how would you want to be remembered?
Well, I think that being one of the pioneers. There's a lot of pioneers out there, there's that were out there. I know like Eves Potkin, who started Gardein, and Eves is one of the, ones it's unfair to be remembered as the like pioneer or anything, because we were all in there doing stuff and they've been very successful. But
interestingly though, he's not even a vegetarian, let alone a vegan.
Is that right? I haven't tracked him, but he certainly has made a large impact, whether he's vegan or not, and I think of Michael Cohen, who started Light Life, and Shia Collins, who also was founder of Light Life. David Lee, Field Rose, Bob Goldberg, Follow Your Heart. A lot of these, just wanted to be remembered, I guess, for being a pioneer of plant-based foods and somebody who saw the industry go from 0 to the first billion. I think once you hit your first $1 billion, it gets easier. It's just like they say, in a company, and it's really true. The first million is the hardest to get, but after you reach that, then things really pick up the growth. So I think that's good. But, just being somebody who tried to be less stupid as they grew.
I aspire to that.
So for individuals that want to follow more about your products and yourself, what are the appropriate contact information, YouTube channel, all the socials and all that stuff? Yeah, so, Tofurky.com, obviously, for the web, and Tofurky Fan is out there on the social media in Facebook and Instagram, the Tofurky Companies, Pinterest. We're available in all of those, and there's a special tofurky.com/book section of the website for more information on the book. And just reading the book, it makes a nice gift for the holidays, and we're promoting that for the holidays. Awesome. I wanted to say thank you again for taking the time today to be on the show. It's greatly appreciated. We had such a pleasure speaking with you.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Very excited, and you didn't disappoint. So thank you.
Oh,
very
good.
much.
Well, we love Canada. I love the Canadian people, and I hope there's a place for me up there if the election goes south this year. But I know there's going to be a big line, so
yeah. Well, please don't let that happen, though. Please.
No, we'll work to change things, but we do want to see
when the borders open up again, so that you can at least come up for a visit sometime soon.
Oh, that would be lovely. I would love to be. I've never been to the Toronto Vegfest, and I've heard, we've had booths there before, and people just come back and they just say, what an amazing event. So I want to do that. And I have friends up there like AnneMcArthur, who I just really love the work of. And I'm on the board of Veganuary too, which is really one of the nonprofit that I admire the most and is the most well run. It's like an amazing organization where they just want you to encourage people to try vegan for January. Mm-hmm. It's a great thing to do after Christmas. You've heard about this diet, and to just try it for a month. You can do anything for a month, right? And it's just like, I think it's 65 or 70% of the people who try it in the month of January stay vegan. And we had 400,000 pledges worldwide last year. So
that's amazing.
Give it a go. That's veganuary.com, and it's an amazing thing.
Yeah, and when you consider that so many people, it's resolution time, and if that many people stick to it, how many people stick to going to the gym every day of the week or whatever they resolve to do? So
I actually have a New Year's resolution that I've been keeping for 25 years. You know what it is?
What's that?
Don't take up cigarette smoking.
Oh,
there you go. Awesome.
I've never been tempted, but my policy on New Year's resolutions is Over promise, no, under deliver. No, it's the other way. Under promise, over deliver.
That's right.
And I've
Absolutely.
kept it for 25 years. So
Good
There you
man.
go.
Okay, well, we'll see you at next year's Toronto Vegfest. It's vegan Christmas up here in Canada, or in Toronto that day, so.
So
Great.
fingers crossed, borders will be open, and hopefully we can see you at the Vegfest.
You can couch
Yeah.
surf at my place.
thanks. And I think because of you, I'm going to add to my New Year's resolution this year, don't take up meat eating.
Oh,
There you go. Awesome. Thank you again, and have a wonderful day. Thanks.
Yep. Cheers.
bye. Thank you.